This microphone's on.
Okay, thank you everyone for indulging us. We just had a little bit of business to take care of prior in non-public, so I appreciate that. We're gonna, a special night tonight, and we'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
And you have a motion with regard to sealing the minutes.
Motion to seal the non-public minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody against?
Do you want to vote on sealing the minutes from non-public? Aye.
Oh, okay.
Aye.
Do we have the payroll register so I can read that off real quickly? Does someone have that, the payroll register?
It might be in this pile.
Thank you.
I can't hear you.
All right. For the week ending November 4th, 2025, we have payroll in the amount of $46,431, payroll taxes in the amount of $14,162. We also have accounts payable in the amount of $34,788. So I will take a motion to accept the payroll register.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We also have tonight rec manifest building permits, and we have public minutes and non-public minutes. Do we have the dates that I can? Thank you. Public minutes and non-public minutes from October 28th, 2025. Public, non-public from October 3rd, October 7th, October 14th, and October 21st of 2025.
Motion.
Second, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, looks like it's all signed, so we're done with that, and now we are here for a special occasion, because not only do we get to swear in and appoint one chief, but we actually get to do two chiefs, one for fire and one for police at the same time, so it's a special night here for Brentwood. So we will start with Fire Chief Olson.
He left.
I was saying, we lost it.
We have a special visitor tonight in our ex-chief, Chief Bird. Thank you for joining.
I just want to take this opportunity to thank the town of Brentwood. It's been great working for you. It's been a great group to work with, a privilege. The young men and women you see here made my day special and very special, and I appreciate that. I'm not going to be a stranger to these people. I would like to take this opportunity to really introduce Roy. Roy was one of the gentlemen that started out with us several years ago and has come up through the ranks and decided to make Brentwood his home again because of the people that are in this room and had the chance to pick their chief and make that decision. So to me, it's an honor to be here tonight, and it will be an honor to pin him when he gets sworn in.
So we're going to formally move to appoint Roy as Chief of Police and to
Fire.
Fire.
Oh, sorry. Wrong department. That's what happens when you have two. I get them mixed up in my head.
I don't want that one.
Yep. All right. We'll pass on that. We'll move on to fire. So we have a motion to appoint
I'll make
Roy.
the motion.
Okay. as
Second.
Chief of.
The fire department.
There you go.
Brentwood.
All right. And do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So we will
Well,
sign.
Yeah, aye.
We will sign off on that appointment. Roy, after you'll be sworn in, we have a contract which you reviewed, and have you put your John Hancock on that as well, and you'll be good to go.
Well, except for a picture.
Of course,
We're gonna do the
pictures,
picture.
And we don't need a microphone for the little guy.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Roy Olson,
I, Roy Olson,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all the duties incumbent on me
all the duties incumbent upon me
as Brentwood Fire Chief,
as the Brentwood Fire Chief,
according to the best of my abilities,
according to the best of my ability,
agreeably to the rules and regulations
agreeable to the rules and regulations
of the Constitution and laws
of the Constitution and laws
of the state of New Hampshire.
of the state of New
So
Hampshire.
help me God.
So help me God.
Hey, Bill, is it? He's either really stoic or he hasn't been stabbed.
Congratulations.
Take pictures with family, friends. I know we wanted to do joint pictures also afterwards with Chief Merch.
There we go.
Okay.
Here, get out of the way, you guys can do. Sorry, I didn't move your chair. You guys can
Don't sit.
squeeze in there. Ready?
Do you want me to roll this whole thing?
They get it. They're right in there, don't be shy. Let's go. Come on.
Any of them.
You just didn't take the picture. You would have lost that.
Actual chief.
I just wasted all that film. I like that kid. He thinks I'm funny.
Chief, if you could.
Congratulations, Chief. You still got
Yep.
You need him to sign that?
Julie's got it.
Oh, is that
Yes. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for coming.
Ladies.
This one?
I don't know if he stands, sits, what's he do?
Do we take a motion? Do we make a motion on this one yet?
We will, yeah. Okay, and now we have the second, and my second honor to introduce once again to everyone our next Chief of Police, Chet Birch.
You don't want to put him as fire? No? Okay, all right.
I was getting a little confused. We're caught up in the moment.
Alzheimer's.
What's that?
Alzheimer's.
Yeah, exactly. I think I had mentioned at the last meeting, or it may have been the meeting before that, that we were, I had introduced Chief Murch. We were pending the background report that has come back clean, and we were satisfied as such, and therefore are moving forward with the appointment as well as his contract for Chief of Police.
I'll make a motion.
Yep.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so I'm gonna pass this down for everyone's signature.
Contract.
Sign this. I think Andy, and I don't know if you wanted to sign the payroll register.
Sorry to take a walk. Can you please come stand on it?
Same thing.
Go back, go.
Sorry, Andy. I'm getting another picture.
Are we ready? Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Chester Murch, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all the duties incumbent on me as Brentwood Chief of Police, according to the best of my abilities, agreeably to the rules and regulations of the Constitution and laws of the state of New Hampshire. So help me God.
Thanks everybody for coming, I really appreciate
Did you get a photo?
Get some pictures?
it. Yes.
Yep.
Do I gotta kneel too?
Is it Neil right next to you?
Yeah. Neil.
Yeah, we gotta. Please, I gotta get in somewhere. All right, Katie, look this way. All right, guys. You sweating?
Market for that online.
Hi.
Michelle, see you. Bobby, see you.
It's right here. Chief. Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
You get a picture of his wife.
They're on. Got it, okay.
Picture with the board. Chiefs and chiefs, Chief Square.
Let's do the two of them alone first.
Okay.
Let's do the two of them together first, and then we'll do a.
Roy, smile.
He's just got us pointed to both. Selectboard in there too?
Julie's gonna get.
Come on, Julie, come on up. Katarina, you got it. We can always wheel the chair. Come on, Julie. No, you doesn't have it. I should go to the lawn. this already?
We just get it really good and do it for you. Thank you. Thank you. I was trying. I wanted to do this.
Yeah, I got two.
I saw him sitting there, I'm like, I gotta hit him up. With Joe's Town podcast. Like, all right, who's getting bottle openers? Not that I drink, but.
Waiting for you, Jim. Jim, they're waiting for you.
Can't socialize?
Should we shut the door?
Sure.
Cause they got a whole
Yeah,
crowd
actually,
up
if you
there.
get, I'm gonna switch around and get, Chief Clerk back in. Yeah.
Do we need him back in?
Yeah, just for a moment. Just to deal with the coverages.
Chet.
Just gotta turn the sign around. Bob, can,
Yeah, just, you can sit, right.
We're putting you to work right away.
Yep.
That's what I want to do.
So the first discussion item is coverages, because I know there have been some recent resignations of officers, and there was concern with regard to coverage of shifts. So I know that, you know, there had been at least, you know, consensus amongst, you know, board members with regard to both utilizing the sheriff's department, but then also moving Neil Casal, Officer Casal, to full-time through a time certain, which I want to say would be through March of 2026. So, you know, those are items that we would need to confirm and ratify as a board, but I just wanted to, you know, get your input on that, Chief.
In reference to Neil, I think that it's more that he'll just be working full-time hours and not moving to being full-time, especially with his retirement and that type of stuff. So, and that works on an annual basis for him. So he'll still be fine with his retirement moving forward. So he's agreed to come on and help out until March to do that. And both sergeants were kind of instrumental in doing that and kind of working that out and moving it forward. So I think right now, with the coverage that we have, with everybody who left, we definitely need some help temporarily until we can get staffing levels back up to where they need to be. The Sheriff's Department has, you know, offered to take on that responsibility as well. And with that, you know, they'll prosecute their own cases. They'll deal with anything that they, you know, happen to handle, whether it be motor vehicle or arrests. And again, that'll be just something that's temporarily. I don't know if we have a timeline on that yet, but just so that we can get some more people in the door and trained up. So, but I'll also be doing an assessment on the needs of the department as to the number of people that, you know, that we need moving forward.
So there's a private detail contract with the Sheriff's Department with a contracted hourly rate of $100 per hour, with details invoiced at a 4-hour minimum. So you know, that's what we would need to execute, you know, moving forward to the extent that shifts are needed. So.
And you know, although it does look like a big number, you know, one of the things about that is if you really take the hourly rate of the officer who had left, what you pay into retirement for that person, along with any medical or health benefits that they had, you're also not paying for fuel out of any of that as well. You know, you're probably pretty close to that number anyway on a regular basis. So.
Do you have some potential estimate as to you know, how many hours we would need on a weekly basis?
I don't, not until I get in the door tomorrow and I meet with both sergeants about the schedule itself, so.
From my understanding of talking with Sergeant Spitaleri and Sergeant Saltzman, we would need, I think, coverage overnight is what they're talking about. But they'll go through it and figure it out, but that's my understanding anyway.
So we would be looking for motions to, or a motion to utilize the sheriff's department for that purpose.
Make a motion for that.
I just have a question first.
Sure.
Chief, what's your opinion on that versus asking state police to handle the coverage?
You know, this wasn't something that was brought forward to me, you know, but that's an option as well. If it just depends on, you know, what they have for availability. I did reach out to the assistant troop commander today, just about setting up a meeting, not in reference to this, but to having a meeting as soon as I was in. I have no issues asking them as well.
Would that be at a cost, do you know, as well? No, that would be at no cost.
Oh, maybe we should do that then, yeah.
Yeah,
Or
I mean,
could we wait a week? It sounds like if we wait until.
I
next-
have no problem authorizing the chief to enter into an agreement with the sheriff's department if he needs it, whatever he feels best for the town and the agency.
Right, that would be,
But when it was originally brought to me, it could be $1,600 a week. That's a lot of money. So if we can,
Get some relief on that then, yeah, that would
Right.
make sense.
So then maybe the motion needs to be that we can authorize the sheriff's department, but leave it up to the chief to determine which is best.
well, and also, you know, discretion to utilize other services such as the state police and to try to, you know, utilize the, knowing the cost, the sheriff's department as, you know, to the least extent possible, given the cost.
Yeah, I have
But
no
we'd
issue
certainly
with
want to give you the authority to do that, so.
Do you have a sense if this is going to be a permanent or a temporary thing?
temporary.
Okay, so your intent would be to hire back at some level.
Oh, yes.
Do you have a sense of how many you'd be looking to hire back? Because I think, what do we have now? 6, 7?
I would say since he just got hired, he probably needs to do a needs assessment.
Sure. Yep.
And then once you do the needs assessment, then you'll know more from there.
The numbers that I mean, even with 6, you know, you have 1 still on field training, so it's not able to go out and do that work for themselves yet. And I need to see where that person is also, to see how far along they are and how long it's going to take. But, you know, no, I believe that Brentwood needs to have their own officers here, so.
maybe a 2-week update.
Yeah, I was just going to say, maybe come back to us after you've had some minutes to look around down there.
I
and-
think our
Because
next
week
meeting's in
we're
2
off
weeks,
because of
actually.
the-
So,
Yeah, so
yeah,
it would be
so-
2 weeks anyway.
Yep.
So, do you want to do 1 and 2 together, or just want to do each separately?
Yeah, we could do each separately.
Okay, so I'll make a
to
motion.
authorize the utilization of the sheriffs as
As needed.
within the chief's discretion.
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then-
Motion for moving Officer Cassell to full-time?
No,
No.
he's not moving to full-time. He's
Yeah.
just going to work full-time.
Motion.
Full-
So we don't need any,
We don't need a
That'd be a
motion?
motion,
Nope.
actually. for
Perfect,
that.
then withdrawn.
because he's going to stay part-time.
And then just who's going to keep track of the hours to make sure he doesn't get jammed up with his retirement?
It's actually the responsibility of the officer themselves.
Okay.
I've talked to him already. And
Okay.
and he understands that.
Okay, great.
We have on here exit interviews because I think it was suggested that for those officers that are leaving us, it would be a good idea to sit down and have an exit interview with them so we could at least, you know, I think that would probably be helpful to you and helpful to us.
Yes, very much so.
Okay, perfect. I don't think we need a motion on that either. so.
Is that something that the board wants to be involved in, or is it something that,
In the history, the town administrator has conducted the exit interviews, so, but if, that, that would
That's
be
fine.
perfect.
Yeah, so mine was not just about PD, just in general, as people exit the town, it would be good for at least the town administrator, but sometimes maybe another person to sit in and see why. I know in the past, sometimes since the town administrator was the person's boss, there might not have been a honest conversation there, so.
Yeah, no, I think exit interviews are certainly appropriate. All right,
Agreed.
well,
Thanks, Chief.
again, congratulations, thank you very much.
Thank
Look
you.
forward to seeing you bright and early.
Yes.
Okay,
Thanks, Chief.
that's it.
Yeah, run, go eat.
Good night.
Thanks, Chet.
Yep,
Chief?
yep, pass his first test. All right. See? Ah. So, yeah, this brings up an issue in terms of, and sort of springboarding off of, what we were just discussing in terms of, sheriff's department and then Officer Casal's hours. And sometimes these things happen during the course of the week, and I really tried to use the notion of going into an emergency meeting very sparingly for something that I feel is really an emergency, but sometimes things happen during the week where we try to get consensus as a board, but I know, there has been some concern in terms of, how that happens, avoiding a quorum, the logistics of it, the feeling that, it's not being done in an appropriate manner. So, I wanted to open up that for discussion, perhaps now that we have a town administrator who we have high degree of confidence in, that's something that, she can take care of until we have our, following board meeting on Tuesday. So anyways, I'm open for discussion on that.
So by 91A standards, any decision made by the board has to be made in a public meeting.
Right.
That's plain and simple. So if we need to make a decision on something, then we have to have a emergency meeting.
Okay. I mean, my concern is that, there are going to be, decisions like, we were just talking about where, there's a consensus and then we get it decided upon and confirmed, as we just did.
Consensus is a decision.
We can't make decisions outside of meetings. So either it can wait or it can't, and we need an emergency meeting.
All right. I mean, do we want to delegate some authority to the town administrator to, deal with those kinds of, issues until we have our meeting?
I would say if she feels like we have to have an emergency meeting, then we call an emergency meeting.
Okay.
I feel like, and obviously we can't capture all the different variables, but like I feel like sometimes if we know that, we're gonna get an answer back from council or a contract or something, in the past we've authorized the TA to like sign something in between a meeting or to do something like that. But I feel like that's more on a case by case specific basis. I think I would not want to just give Julie the authority to make decisions for the board in between meetings.
And again, just, so it's clear, sometimes things, come to me, during the week, like, well, is it okay to because they need shifts covered? Is it okay to use, the sheriff's department? Is it okay, for Officer Casal to, not go full-time, but to, increase his hours towards full-time? And my response, as a matter of default is that, well, I want the board to be making, that decision. So I, never want to unilaterally, do that, and I don't think, I have, but, I also want to try and get some consensus out, which is why the emails, have gone out.
But that's a meeting, I think is that's what you're saying, is that if we come to a consensus,
Well, and again, it was, done by way of individually contacting the board members, so it wouldn't qualify as a,
But it's not a valid
I understand,
decision.
understand. It's not a formal decision until formalized. Okay. Any more that you wanted to discuss on that?
I guess the only thing, in addition to what Andy has said, is that if board action is taken without the board officially voting on it, I don't know what that means for those actions, if they're valid or not.
Well, it means they're probably not valid.
Okay. And that feels like
Until-
something we would want to avoid.
Yeah. So, and my understanding is, as it relates to the sheriff's department and and Officer Casal, we're formalizing that here before moving forward and implementing anything. So,
Yeah, I think,
I know it didn't feel that way.
no, I think it's just that is the latest in a long string of these things that kind of happened not during a meeting or without the entire board being aware of it. And so feels problematic.
I'm not sure I'd agree with that characterization that it's a long string, but I think it's worth the discussion. Okay, moving right along. We have consideration of the new fee schedule, which had been passed out last time.
Yeah, might as
You
well.
wanna make
pass it
copies?
around.
Would it be possible to get this stuff sent like digitally in the future? Just what did you get it to? If it's digital, I can pull it up. Okay.
It was a handout.
Do we want to cover some, oh, well, he's not here. Never mind. Bless you.
Yep.
Should have a music button. Please hold.
Yeah, can you hum us a quiet little tune?
I don't hum.
Okay, so as Julie is making copies of the fee schedule, why don't we just move on and we can deal with, there's been a recommendation to appoint Nick Wrighton as a member of the trustees of the trust fund.
He's not
Mal-
here. Or would he be sworn in tonight? Sorry.
Well,
He's not
we
here.
can at least move
We have to
have him
move the
appointed
appointment.
Okay.
and then have him sworn in afterwards.
Oh.
Megan, who was M? Megan Schneider was no longer able to maintain her position there. And the trustees have asked for Mr. Wrighton to be appointed.
So I will make a motion to appoint Mr. Nick Wrighton as a trustee of the trust funds.
Second.
Is that just until March?
This would be,
I think we,
I can't remember if it's an elected position or not.
It should be on there.
Oh.
It is an elected
So
position.
it'll just be until March.
Till March, yeah.
Doesn't actually say on there, but that's how it would work. So this would be until March, the appointment of Mr. Wrighton.
It's an elected position, so it would have to be on the ballot.
Yep, okay. So, having said that, motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And then, you want us to sign this now?
Yes.
And then you'll have him? Okay, perfect.
Mhm.
Is extras, yes. Actually, I didn't take one, so you need one.
So this looks like a long list of new fees that are put together by our code enforcement officer and building inspector who had recommended adopting this. This would be a change from the fee schedule that was effective November 17th of 2020. Looks like, the big change on building permits would be that it would be 1% of the estimated cost of construction plus a $100 permit application fee on new construction, and on any construction, it would be 1% of the estimated cost plus $50 permit application fee. So that would be a change from, looks like a square foot measurement. And, based on the cost of construction would certainly increase the fees there. There's a whole list of other fees as well that are based on cost of construction.
If I can, Paul,
Please.
so Chuck did an analysis, can you please not hum? So Chuck did an analysis on surrounding towns. He looked at 15 towns of similar size to Brentwood, and this is basically an average of what he found. And he kept it on the lower end, actually. So this is just an update which he felt needed to be done because our fees were extremely low when compared to other towns of similar size.
Yeah, and it looks like this too is much more exhaustive in terms of covering a lot more areas. For example, demolition, temporary structures, driveways, changes with regard to certificates of occupancy, ADU certificate of occupancy. Curious. Penalties as well if you do work without a permit. So, I mean,
I would ask for clarification on page 2, Heath inspection. Is that for me?
Where are you? Oh, Heath? Yeah, I think that's
Is that
meant
supposed
to
to
be
be health?
Heat.
Heat or health? Because he addresses.
Yep.
Health or heat?
Well, he addresses
Health.
heat areas, right? There's a permit for unheated spaces and heated spaces, so I'm assuming that's,
I'm assuming it's health.
I'm assuming it's health, but
Yeah. Yeah, that's the old fee schedule that you're looking at on
Nope.
page 3, right?
Nope.
no,
Oh,
Page
page 2
Page two.
has Heath, but I think he meant health.
Just about penalties?
yeah, the Heath is health, correct.
Just a typo.
Yep, yep.
So I'm going to make a motion to adopt these this new fee schedule.
Just one question for, Bob, is this industry standard or?
I mean, from permit schedules I see, they vary all over the place. From what I've seen in like cities and stuff, they're a lot higher. But they can command that because of where they're at. This is pretty, 1% is pretty minimal from what I've seen. I've seen as high as 7. Just depends on what areas I'm looking at in writing up estimates. Typically, for me, when I'm writing up an estimate on damages and stuff, it has to be incurred before I'll even consider it. So a lot of times when I'm getting to see these, I mean, it depends on how much work it has to be done to them, but it's about average. Usually $1,500, which I noticed he had in here. If the permits are under if the building permit is under $1,500, $50 minimum permit fee is very limited. Usually the lowest permit fee I usually see is about $150. So $50 is pretty low. So we're still pretty low.
I would second your motion, only wanting to add effective January 1st.
And I would say I would want some clarification to confirm that he means health inspector. Yeah. Because I do all the health inspection stuff, so I've never hit anybody with any fee in 14 years. So if that's the case, then I need to know, because I got to tell somebody they got to pull a permit. And I do a lot of businesses too, so.
So I'll agree to that, to January 1st, absolutely,
Yeah,
that's fair.
effective January 1st.
Yep.
Yeah, we should get that clarification. So with, pending that clarification, I think we can proceed to adopt this if everyone feels comfortable with it.
I'm an aye.
Okay, well, I think we had a second, did we? Okay,
Letty?
yep, perfect. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Just only because we have this in front of us, Julie, do you know where we are with switching the building permits over to Avatar? Okay. I just don't want to get into a situation where we have to pay for the other system for another year if we haven't done it yet.
How much does it cost us for a year, do you know?
For a year for Patriot,
Yeah.
I don't know. 10 at least.
You'd have to have the whole package instead of just.
Because you can't parse it out, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
So for this evening, for reviewing budgets, we have library, health officer, and insurance. One quick question about insurance. Are we able to do that?
It's not the health, or no?
It's not the benefits insurance, it's just our liability and so forth. Yes, I have
Oh.
Primex.
Primex, but not the health.
Right.
Okay, all right. And the health officer budget, is that like $1?
Yes.
Well, they jacked it up to 2, but I only want 1.
So the two, just to, why don't we wait until we get into that budget?
Yeah.
And we can talk
Because
about
I'm
it.
going to slash it.
The health officer one?
Yes.
You don't want to approve a $1 budget?
Oh, she was gonna go in order, I think, but
There's a reason why I picked 2 instead of 1.
Okay.
But if we want to,
Okay.
it's not
I
arbitrary.
just thought we'd quickly check.
Well,
that.
we need to pass out the budget in order to see why it's
Yeah.
$2.
Okay.
I honestly didn't even make copies because there's just not much there, but.
So basically, there's a line for health officer salary and a line for
FICA.
FICA. And I understand that the $1 is a placeholder for you. I just wanted to add another placeholder dollar in the FICA Medicare line so that if you won the lottery and ran away or hit by a bus and we had to actually pay someone to do that, that we could.
Yeah, I don't anticipate taking anything, so I'm fine with the $1 instead of having FICA. I mean, I've been doing it for 14 years. I think if you hired somebody, you would have to add all those anyway. You're gonna have to add Social Security and everything else into the,
I understand, just if it's a 0, we literally can't add it, was what my concern was. We can't spend money on that line if it's a 0.
when was that added to this line?
That line has always been in that budget.
but we just had 0 in it for 14 years.
I can't answer that question.
Because it's always been $1 until 1 year I missed a meeting and they jacked it up to 2 and I was like, ah. And then, so they said I had a 100% increase.
Is there
I
a
make a,
protocol? is
I
there a
make a
protocol
motion that
for
we
valid-
change the salary to 50 cents and add 50 cents to salary, and then it's $1.
Second. I'll second that. That makes me happy.
Okay, yep, that also.
I only want
meets
$1.
what I was trying to accomplish.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I don't think he had a second, but.
Was there a second on that one? Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
All right. And why don't we, now that we got that out of the way, library, come on up.
Sure. Oh, great. I can hand them around if you want. One loose page and
These two different, yes. Yes.
Appreciate it.
So I provided another copy of the budget because I updated the year-to-date totals as of 11/1 for both compensation and expenses to get a better, clearer understanding of where we're spending is right now. The rest of it has stayed the same since I had passed this in with a bottom line of 3.8% decrease from last year. I have lots of supporting documents, because as I understand it, you like handouts, and and lots of supporting information. So I did go through and make notes on just about everything. We can go page by page. You can look at it and talk to me with questions. I don't know how you best want to do this.
We do a combination thereof.
Okay.
Can you just, I guess I'll start with the salaries. I see
Yep.
you have a negative 4.5. Did we lose somebody? What do
Yes. So I recently had one person retire, one left due to personal issues, and one moved out of state. So when we hired 2 new library assistants with slightly decreased hours and lesser starting salaries. And that was how we were able to produce that number, even though we have increases in there and we have an extra page that I'm looking to add for next year. We tried doing without the pages and it's not working well. We're having to pay people at a higher rate to do the job that someone could do in a page position. So this is a fiscal change to better fit our needs and to keep our budget down.
So can you outline the positions
Mhm.
for us?
So if you go to the very last page,
Of the handout. Packet.
yeah, there's a little slip of paper across the
Right
top.
there. No, it's right there next to you.
Yes.
It's right there.
Nope.
Yep. Oh, here, I can use this.
Oh, I might have missed one.
We're good. You can use that one.
Okay, thanks.
So there's 2 documents in here that kind of address that, and that's that last page that has the small chart stapled to the larger description. I had previously submitted that larger sheet, but I went through and made the changes since that time because all of this movement has happened since then. So basically it describes that we're not going to fill a 4th library assistant position. It's not that we can't use one, but we're trying to do our best to produce something that is palatable for the community while still giving them really great service.
One of the things that we did have a discussion with, it was last week, we went to, is it up to 2.8?
Yes, I did see that. The reason I didn't make the change is because my trustees had already voted on this budget. So if I'm going to make that change, I would have to go back to them. What you could do, if you're so inclined, but I kind of wish you wouldn't, is bring it down to that. And then the trustees will have to figure out where they want to take that decrease. But I went through and looked at budget, the total budget, and with a 3% increase, our total would be 345,502. That includes expenses. With a budget of 2.8% increase, it's 345,119. So for our entire staff, it's a savings of $383.55 for the entire year.
Yeah, it would seem to be, I realize it's a small amount, Janice, but
It needs
I
to
think
be
in order to
consistent.
be consistent, it's something that we would need.
Unfortunately, the library doesn't have to be consistent because they fall under a different, they don't fall under the town handbook, they don't fall under,
Understood.
it's kind of like the school.
They don't, but I feel like we do.
And you can certainly request that change. I can make that change. The budget committee can weigh in on that, but in the end, whatever you come up with for a bottom line, it's going to be the trustees that will decide where to take the cut. So it might mean 10 less books this year so that people can have the full increase, but that's for them to decide. But I will produce however you want it. I just didn't do it formally because the vote was already had and we don't have another meeting until next week.
Understood.
How many hours a week is the library open?
40 hours.
And how many staff do we have altogether?
Right now we have 6. I'm looking to add,
Full-time or?
no, we have 2 full-time. And then we have 3 part-time and a page that does 4 hours. And our part-timers are at different levels of part-time. We have one who is what we consider in the library's handbook to be a regular part-time, which means that there's a consistent 20 hours or more allocated for that person, which means she earns earned time and holiday pay. The others, there's the part-timers, do not get either of those benefits.
How do you, so you have a substitute library assistant, 1.5 hours?
Yep.
Can you schedule for 1.5 hours?
So what that's based on is if I have to have people out of the library and we need to have somebody come in, it's based on the number of hours, essentially, that it's kind of a tough number. It's like based on a weekly average.
Okay, so it's not like, I'm like, I didn't know.
No,
You have to have
no.
at least 4 hours, so it's kind of
Yeah,
wondering how you
no,
can
but we
fit
might
it
have
in
somebody in one day and then not again for a month or
3
two.
days.
So, it's hard to predict that number. Likely, we won't even use some of that, but I just don't know, and I like to make sure that we're covered. I do know we have some things coming up that will require, well, for me, I'm going to be out of the building for a little bit. I have to have a procedure. So there will need to be somebody else. Whether that ends up being one of our part-timers doing more hours or having a substitute.
And I've been off this board for a while, so
Mm-hmm.
is everyone now working at the library? Nobody's working from home anymore, or are they still working from home?
For the most part, I do have one person who is working from home 1 day a week, sometimes, as needed,
What's that for?
to do book cataloging. That would be somebody who's, well, everybody knows it's Joyce. She's living in Belmont, and so she comes down, lives down here for a couple of days, and then goes back up to the home. So the trustees agreed on that. And then also, Kiki and I have the flexibility to do Fridays at home. Those are admin days where we're working on administrative tasks that we have a hard time getting done when we're in the building because of interruptions. And again, that's approved by the trustees. Most of the time, Kiki does work in the building on Friday. I most often don't. But I'm there, and Andy can give his his ideas, but I'm there 10 hours sometimes, 12 hours. It depends on, I put a lot of hours in the building, but I do have those 4 hours at home on Friday, which usually turn into 8 to 10 because I get started on something and I can be so productive. But it's a salaried position.
Your position is salary?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but you still calculate it by,
Yeah, we were asked to do that to give a number.
and, oh, that's the hourly rate.
Me and Kiki are both salaried. Everybody else is hourly.
Janice, I'm confused when you look at, you keep saying that there's an increase in library usage, but we haven't changed really that much in our, the number of citizens we have in this town. So how do you attribute the additional increases?
Not everybody has had a library card, and some come in after having lived here for many years. But we also have a very high population from the 255 and older communities. I actually looked at those numbers, and I thought I had it with me, but I don't think I do. I'd have to provide it. But I figured out how many units there are in each of those communities and how many people are living at that address. I could do that with my software. And it was, I think it was about 120 people from those two communities.
But you're saying that you had an increase of, what, 130 something this year?
Yep.
138?
Mhm.
Okay. And how do you calculate the number of people that come to the library? Is that by door openings? How
No.
does that work?
That's how it used to be. What we do now is we actually essentially tally, but with a descriptor so that we don't double on a particular person if somebody else is doing it. We are hand tallying the people. So if we're off, it's off in the direction against us, not for us. Whereas before, there was an electronic counter, and that was never accurate because it would pick up anybody that came in and out. Like, so if we had somebody working on the building, it would show a false number. It also wouldn't pick up like kids that were under the eye that would be able to capture that. So we decided to start doing something more accurate. The same thing with our patrons, our active patrons. The state requires you to, give a number that is anybody's an active patron if they've used the library in the last 3 years. I don't like producing that number for the town because I feel like if someone hasn't come in 3 years, then I don't want to be calling that an active patron because maybe they've been gone for 2. So we do yearly. If you haven't used the library, and the only way we can even calculate that is based on circulation. So all the people that come to the library that don't actually take something out are not counted. So this is actually a low number. It would be much higher if we counted everything else.
I'm just surprised because when I look at neighboring towns that have similar residence sizes, you seem much higher than those other libraries.
We're good.
Okay.
I'm just looking at you said your salary, and I just want to make sure I'm getting this all in perspective. Does anybody have a designation, the ALA MLS certified?
No,
And,
it's not required.
okay, but I'm seeing a salary, if your salary just for the library director, it's coming in around 82,000 a year, is that correct?
Yes,
And then the other position's around 74,000, is that correct?
the other full-time,
Yeah.
yes. So our other full-time person has a master's degree. I have a bachelor's in education I had 9 years experience as a children's librarian. I had 9 years experience as a manager in a very large retail Barnes and Noble. And when I came on as the children's librarian and we needed a director, the trustees took a look at that and what I could bring from my management experience. And that's pretty much, other than city libraries, most libraries don't require an MLS. The MLS does not, it teaches you the day-to-day skills, which a lot of stuff I've taught myself, I've taken classes, I go to workshops. It doesn't teach the soft skills, it doesn't teach the building maintenance, which is a big part of the job. There's a lot of things that are not covered in MLS, and I have had other librarians in the state say that they don't feel any more prepared than the day-to-day experience. And my fellow librarians often come to me for opinions and advice, including the state librarian.
How many programs are you offering a year?
So this last year, we had 233 programs in the last 12 months, not January to now, but it would be October 28th to October 28th. And we had 3,446 participants. So the libraries are open 40 hours. Whether anybody walks in those doors, we have to cover those hours. But then when we have programs, we're often dealing with large crowds, sometimes as much as 100 people.
So since I came on back in March, I've done quite a bit of studying of surrounding libraries and our library.
Mm-hmm.
I've driven through the lot many times and haven't seen any vehicles, maybe one or two. My question is, I believe the library's a vital part of the community, but I wonder if there's a way that we can maybe decrease the number of hours that we're open, utilizing, in that way you could have a busier time when you are open, and it could, I think, help in lowering the costs, especially salaries, which is your biggest expense. I wonder if you've looked at that at all, because there are definitely a lot of downtimes at the library.
Yeah, unfortunately, though, it doesn't quite work that way, because there are days when we may not be very busy. There's other days when we're very busy, but that's not consistent. So it could be we have a week or two on a Friday where we only have, a dozen or more people. And then 2-3 weeks after that, we have, 30, 40 people on that same day. So we have to be open to accommodate all the various schedules in town. So people that work, people that can't come in during the week, people with young children who have to go to bed early. We deal with everything from birth on up to death, basically.
I understand that.
Yeah.
If I was, just to give you an example, if I was running a restaurant in town and found that most of my patrons were coming for lunch and dinner, I probably would scrap breakfast because it's costing me a lot of money to do that. My thinking is, if you were to reduce the number of hours that you were open, let's just say hypothetically by a day, those people would then be more apt to use the library on the days that you're open. I don't think that they would not use your library. I think that they would utilize the library, and the library could be more efficient. That's just my take, but.
No, and respectfully, though, on paper, that maybe makes sense, but just because somebody can come in on a Tuesday doesn't mean they can come in on a Wednesday. You know, people's work schedules are very varied.
I'm not saying that you should only be open one day a week.
No, I know, but I'm just saying that it's pretty standard. I mean, there are some libraries that are open 7 days a week. It's pretty standard for a library our size to be open 6, so that we get a weekend in there and then throughout the week.
There are other libraries with similar sizes that are only open 4 or 5 days a week too.
Yes, that is true. What I did look at, though, was I took the Seacoast libraries. We're about middle of the pack in terms of number of hours. We're not doing an overage amount, and we're not doing too little of an amount. We're pretty much where we should be. And I think it's, you know, we do analyze this all the time. But the other thing to understand is 40 hours includes public service time, but it also includes, you know, all the other things that we have to do. There's cataloging of books. There's interlibrary loan, which is borrowing from other libraries and taking those in, and you have to have that time to do those tasks when there aren't people in the building. So our 40 hours factors in all of that. And our employees use that time
Sure.
to their max.
I understand.
Yeah, and even just getting ready for programs, setting up the room, taking everything down, like all of that stuff takes time and manpower. We've tried to utilize,
You have 9 employees though.
no, we have 6.
Well, with the pages, and all told, you have 9 people that work for you.
Correct. But I only have 2 40 hours. I have 1 20 hour. I have one who averages 15, one who averages 17 or 18, I can't recall.
19, and then
Yeah.
substitute library assistant 1.5, and library pages 2.
Mhm.
So 2, 5.
Well, right now I only have 1. I have a 4-hour library page right now. I'm proposing to put in another 8 hours because that 4-hour person is doing Saturdays, which cost us less to operate on a Saturday if I can put a page and a key holder. If I had to put 2 key holders, it's going to cost me a lot more money to do that. So that person just does those 4 hours. Now, if he can't work, I have to put somebody in there, so I have to factor that in. The 8 hours that I'm proposing is Monday through Thursday, 2 hours after school each day, just to put books away, because that's what it takes. And right now, I'm paying people as assistants who are putting books away, which is not a good use of time.
Right, yeah.
So this is designed to make the best use of the time that we have with the right people making the right amount of money at the right time. I do hear you, and I have looked very carefully. This has taken me, to really do this budget has taken me several months, off and on. But we have really dug in and looked. And I caution you, as far as like going by and seeing nobody's there, that's a snapshot, a moment in time. Unless you park yourself there all week, you're not really gonna get a good understanding of it. I don't wanna put Andy on the spot, but he lives right next door. And I think he can.
I'm sure you have busy times, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I've randomly gone in, random days, random hours, just to check and see, and there are times that there's quite a few cars there, absolutely, but there's also quite a few times that there's not.
And we're doing work though
Oh,
during that time.
I understand that.
So do know that. It's
Yep.
not, we don't just sit around doing nothing. There's a lot to be done.
How often does the trustees meet?
Once a month.
And nobody from trustees attended with you, or?
To date?
Yeah.
Yep.
Are they gonna present
Melissa
with you or
is my
no?
chair. Well, she was letting me do it, but she's here to help.
Just
Do
curious.
you have
'cause
questions?
usually I like to see the chair join you, since they're the chair of that board, but
Well-
that's me.
She's,
There's a chair. Come on up. You get to sit in the hot seat too. We're not like, just be careful of this chair. It's wiggly. Everything's a hot seat.
The wiggly seat.
It's the wiggly seat.
I'm Melissa Bertolin. I'm the chair of the Brentwood Library.
Maybe Melissa.
Thank
So
you for coming.
can you, go ahead.
Jim, I just have a comment on your analogy. A restaurant is a business, the library is a service. So the town doesn't operate a business, the town operates a service. So I think the analogy of cutting breakfast out on a business that's there to make money is, it's not fair to compare to the town that's there to provide a service.
Well,
Pretty much every department in the town provides a service and don't have a line out the door every day.
sure, I get that. I have a business background, and I look at things from a business standpoint, and if there's a way to save the town money, that's how I look at it. The analogy might not be apples to apples, but it was more of an efficiency analogy. And, you know, I definitely question if we need to have a library open 40 hours a week. That was where I was going with that.
What other, why don't we, because we're focusing on salary, why don't you guys walk me through the other expenses? Because I see you guys got some reductions, but then there's building maintenance is up 25%, and the increase is due to aging, building issues, snow removal, stairs, ramps, cleaning costs, et cetera. Walk me through that 25%, because I was here when you guys replaced the furnaces, and I know how much they all cost. So
yeah.
walk me through what's significantly increased by you guys with 25%.
So if you look at our actual spending on that line right now, we're over $2,000 overspent in that line. We have used 128.4% of that line. So we added that additional to make that even out.
And what was what was the big dollar impacts?
One of the big things is cleaning. We had to have a cleaning service come in.
And what's that total yearly cost on that? Were you guys doing weekly, monthly,
Every other week.
every other week?
yeah. And I'm trying to remember. Without having it in front of me, I don't know. I can't recall. We had an individual person cleaning, and she was injured. And so last minute, we ended up, what we did was we asked the cleaners who do the town offices to come and do a quote. Now, one thing we can do to hopefully bring that down is when the town goes into their next contract with the cleaners, if we can be added into that contract, we might be able to reduce that. Right now, we're acting on our own. But I'm more than,
Contract up, do we know? Okay.
yeah. I think Joyce said maybe a year, but I'm not 100% sure. Snow removal, yes, the town does come and do the premises, but the trucks can't always get into the full parking spots. So in order to be able to get those cleared, I need somebody to do that, and I need somebody to do ramps and stairs. And I have had multiple people with physical handicaps who have been very pleased with being able to get into the building because we've done a thorough job of cleaning. But that, if we're open on a day where it's continuously snowing, that requires somebody to come out every so often and clear off.
All right, where else do we have? Slight increase on catalog systems. Is that
Yeah.
a computer system? What is that?
So that's the software we use to run the library. It's how we check books out, check them in, put them into our catalog. So cataloging, and they just went up in price a bit.
Is that a monthly service that you guys pay for?
No, it's yearly. And again, if you look, it's 102.4% use this year. That isn't going to change because that was already paid. However, I put in to make up for that increase because that's not going to go down suddenly.
Yeah, for the salary things, I'd like to see it 2.8. Make sure it's recalculated properly because that's what we voted on. So that's, and I just want to make sure all the calculations are right before I put my rubber stamp on it. That's where I'm at.
Okay.
Explain the computers going down to that line. You
Mhm.
say level funded with ability to replace one PC per year.
Yeah, so you'll see we've only used 80.8% of that budget, and that's because we built in this year the ability to replace a computer. Back in 2020, I believe it was, all of the computer systems that our staff uses were donated by an anonymous donor. They're all the same age, and they're all starting to slow down. Now, we were able to upgrade my computer, and Kiki once we took all of my stuff off it, it was usable for her, because most of her work is web-based and not being used as a hard drive, where mine has a lot of documents and things like that. But each year, we figured rather than coming to the town with a great big number to replace everything again, if we replace one computer a year, then we're in good shape.
But the one computer can't be the 14,500. It's one computer plus other things.
Oh, that also includes our IT, our printing costs. Yeah, that's got a lot in it. But that bit extra is for the cost of a computer.
So Janice, I really appreciate you coming in with a, so to speak, level-funded budget.
It's
I'm a-
actually reduced.
Reduced. So I'm a big proponent of giving the townspeople the ultimate say.
Mhm.
And I'd like to propose that we do that. And how we would do that is by reducing your budget and then bringing a warrant article to the town so that they can vote on the additional portion. And what I'd like to do is figure out what that, if we reduced your hours by 1 day and then bring the warrant article to the town and give them the ultimate decision. That's what I'd like to see.
So that's 416 hours a year? Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah.
Then I guess you'd really have to figure out what the rate would be that you would be looking at. Is that when, really, you couldn't touch the...
Can we do that legally?
I don't know how that would work.
Yes.
You can?
We can legally tell them that they can't open?
No, we can legally set their budget and they
Oh,
have to
okay,
open.
that was the part that I wasn't sure about.
Right.
Then I
So-
don't know what rate you would go
so-
off of.
Go ahead, Andy.
I just,
What's going to happen is you're not going to reduce the two highest paid people because we're salaried. We're getting paid 40 hours regardless.
Great, understood. Andy?
I don't agree with Jim. We have, the town voted us, we have to make some decisions. And I find it disheartening that somebody took the time to come in with a 3.8 reduction in their budget, and now we're saying we're taking more away from them. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, I would second that. I think that's really disappointing that Janice has worked diligently for months, and as a board, we have gone over this the last couple of months, and we have made the effort to reduce our overall budget by 3.8%. Most of our areas of expenses are level funded. I know you all can see that, not everybody else can see it, but our media is level funded. Our equipment and security actually decreased from last year. Our furnishings decreased from last year. Our programs amount decreased from last year. Our professional development is level funded. Our supplies are our supplies decreased from last year. Our telephone and Wi-Fi is level funded. Our other category is level funded. Our electricity is decreased. Our heating propane is decreased. I think we have come to the board today with a very hardly worked on, diligent budget. I disagree with cutting back a day of the library. I see that would provide not a whole lot of money given back to the community, given.
$6,955.52 to be.
Say it again? What?
$6,955.52. I took basically the 23, 35, 17, 17, 15, 97, 13, 50, 13, 50, added it together, and then divided it by 6 times 8 times 52 to come up with my total number of $6,955.52. Because you're still going to pay for the salaried positions. That's what you're going to have to pay
How would you get 8 times 8?
8 hours. If they're taking out 8 hours a week, times 52 weeks,
Gotcha.
that's how I count.
Although most of our, so we have 2
an
days that we're only open 4
Yeah.
hours, and we have 1 day that we're open 6 hours.
Mhm.
We have 1 day, and then we have 3 days that we're open 7 hours.
Yeah, to me, he said 8, so I used the 416 hours that you would basically lose over the course
So
of the year.
another thing could we take a look at the MEB library by the numbers? Because there's a couple of other things in here I'd like to review. It's this page that has the blue.
If I could just make a quick comment.
Mhm.
So, with all due respect, Jim, I do think we have an obligation here as a board to, make these decisions with regard to the budget and not to, I understand technically you could do what you're suggesting, but I think we have a good faith obligation to, pass on the budgets that come before us and not to slice off, whatever that amount is and then put that up, for warrant. And I would say too, that, I think that, given what the library does provide in terms of service and what the budget, here is, I think we are obligated to move forward with a budget along these lines. I mean, that's my opinion. I understand that we can have, discussions and we can do this about, all the departments and decide that.
Which we do.
I know
Yep.
we do. But, in this context, slicing off budgets and then, giving that off, in warrant, that doesn't seem, right, to me. Let me just finish. I'm trying to, gather my thoughts. you know, again, I feel as though, you know, we can have discussions outside of the budgetary process, you know, about what we, you know, feel a library should look like, and maybe you have a different idea, Jim, than I might have in terms of what a library looks like, and we might all have different decisions. We might have all, you know, different decisions in terms of what a police department and a fire department look like. But in terms of the budget that's before us, I think we have to decide that, you know, based on what we have asked for, which was a level funded budget. In fact, this one is, you know, as pointed out, is a little bit less than that. So
Yeah, it's actually minus 3.8 and change.
I mean,
If
I
shave
agree
off
for
the
purposes of consistency, we should put this down at the 315, I'm sorry, 345, 119 for purposes of consistency, but I wouldn't feel comfortable, you know, beyond that. And I fully respect what you're saying, and, you know, I know you speak for, you know, a, you know, certain, you know, portion of residents who may have a different feeling about, you know, the library. I get it. I really do. So I say that with the utmost respect. I mean to cut you off, so yeah,
no,
it's up.
no problem.
Yeah.
Well, I just, you know, I've done an analysis of other towns of similar size, and I question our budget of, even though it's decreased, which I can appreciate, I question it, and I, you know, compared to other towns, I think it's quite high. So that's my concern, so.
Andy.
So if I'm, oh, sorry, Andy.
Just to clarify a little, Paul, by statute, the only thing we can regulate a library is their budget.
Understood.
So, I mean, that is all we have. That's the only thing we can say how the library looks like is the dollar figure.
Bring it up.
Yeah, and I get that. So, you know, maybe what I said in terms of this isn't the venue or the place, maybe that is, you know, misplaced. But having said that, I do think it, you know, is really part of a you know, a broader discussion, you know, that, you know, may need to happen over, you know, weeks and, you know, months. But, you know, we have a budget here before us, and we asked for a level funded budget. I just think, you know, we're less than level funded budget. I just think it would not be in good faith to you know, to not act upon that. That's, you know, again, and I say that with all due respect to everyone here. So
Thank you, I appreciate that.
So just procedurally, I think Jim made a motion, so we either need a second on it or it needs to die and get a second.
The motion was to table how much?
I'll withdraw my motion.
And just so everyone's clear on how I came up with the numbers, I basically took all these, added them together, came up with an average of $16.72 an hour.
Gotcha.
You mentioned 8 times 8.
Yeah.
Over 52.
No, I understand. I
just wanna
didn't
make
at
sure everyone's
first.
aware.
No, it just took me a minute to wrap my head around it.
I'm big on making sure the numbers all work for me.
Yeah.
So the only thing I would want to make sure is the 2.8, that was with FICA and everything else calculated in that. That's how you came up with that 345, 119.29.
Say that again?
Was that the?
So, because instead of doing a 3% raise, you said it was 2.8.
yeah, I think
You
so.
calculated 2.8. It came
No,
to 3.
this is calculated at 3%.
Yeah, and it was 3%, but then you gave us a number of 345,
2.8.
119.29 at
Right.
2.8.
Yeah.
Does that take into consideration how everything falls in the line with FICA reductions and everything else?
Yeah, so I actually input 2.8 into my spreadsheet, which does affect all of the costs. So yes, that's an accurate number. I mean, and somebody's welcome to look at that because I don't claim to be an expert in Excel, but
So
I'm
what is
pretty
the-
good at
What
it.
is the final figure for the 2026 budget?
Well, if you do the 2.8% raise versus the 3% raise that was put in, it looks like it was 348,119.29. correct?
It's more?
No.
No,
No, no, no.
345, 502.29, now it's gonna be 345, 119.29.
Right.
Which is a
You
savings,
said 348.
oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
345, 502.29 is what she was asking.
Yes.
But then putting in the 2.8 brings it down to 345, 119.29, correct?
Correct,
So it's a savings of $100
like $400.
roughly.
So just very quickly on, I'm not going to do all of this, but there are two numbers on this by the number sheet that I provided to give you an idea of where we're at. So if you look at circulation between October 29th and October 29th, 2024 to 2025, our system takes, when we enter a book into the system, it's entered at the replacement value. So so the system calculates based on how many books have gone out, what that savings would be if the same people who took those books out went to the bookstore and bought a book. Their savings is $440,574. So while not everybody uses the library, people are using it enough to actually surpass what we're asking in the budget. In addition to that, I have been here almost 8 years, going on my 8th year. I have only taken insurance for 1 month out of 8 years. And so we get in lieu of insurance. If you take what it costs for the average insurance this year or last year and subtract the amount of in lieu of insurance for both Kiki and I, because neither one of us takes insurance, we have saved the town $43,582-ish this year. Multiply that by even more, because at one point I was eligible to take a family plan. Now I can take a couple's. She is eligible for family plan. So it's 7 years for me, 4 years for her. Compounded, that's a lot of money that we've saved. And we could choose to take insurance. I could take insurance and my husband could take insurance, and it would cost this town a whole lot more money.
Then
But
we'd be
it's,
looking at something different, but I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It almost sounds a little bit like when my wife goes out and buys something and she tells me that
It was
that she-
50% off.
Yeah, that she saved me a lot of money. But
but this really is a number, I mean, this is a number that is saving, because we have been eligible to take those, we've been eligible to use those.
Well, I understand. Then we'd be looking at something different. So I get it. But thank you.
I just think it's appropriate to look at all the things that we do to help.
I know you're trying to, save money. I get it. Yep. So.
I also would love to ask you all to come into the library. Those of you who don't use it, come in and use it. Come in and talk to the rest of the community, because you are out there talking to community members, but the library has some different people. So come on in, you're gonna be welcomed. We would love to have you. We'd love to have you see what it is we do. So that would be my last point to make is, please use it. It's there for you. It's the budget in this town that is able to be recouped through use if people choose to use it. But those who choose not to, I can't force to come in the doors.
It's like, rec. I mean, some people use it, some people don't.
Correct.
We get it.
Yeah.
I choose not to use the police department.
Well, let's hope we all choose not to use the police department. Yes, yes,
Use them.
yes. I'm also not a proponent of comparing budgets from department to department. We all do different things. So I'm just giving you our needs, and we utilize our friends for our wants. So
Again, I'll look for a motion if anyone has one.
I make a motion for the 345, 502.29.
But the reduction was 345, 119.29.
You asked me for a motion and I gave you
Okay.
my motion.
Is there a second on that one?
I'll second the 345, 50229.
Discussion on that?
Probably would say yes to 345,119.29, because that's 2.8, and that's what we voted on.
Yeah, I think in order to be
So I'm gonna
consistent.
stick with that.
So, but we can vote, we
You can
can,
make a motion, I just,
can I, but,
Yep,
right, I just
go
want to
ahead.
make sure that you understand. Even if we vote that number, they can still give the 3% raise.
It's true, they could.
So
But
that's the
it-
part where I,
Yeah, but there's a certain symbolism to try to do what we're doing, which is, having, increases at 2.8%. They could choose to not go by that. I get that, so.
We have historically tried to align ourselves with the town so that there isn't that kind of notion that we're getting something others aren't.
Understood.
So,
so
Um,
would it be better to table this until the library board could?
We can vote on the other budget. The library you're literally. The library trust, we're talking about $800. No, 300 and, the library trustees only present the budget. We are the one that pick the number, and then the budget committee picks a different number
Okay.
if they so choose. So,
Well,
So I made my motion. My motion was seconded.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All against?
aye.
Or nay?
Nay.
But
Nay.
can I get a second motion, please?
I'd make a motion for the 345,119.29.
second.
All in favor of that motion? Aye.
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 thank you.
Wasn't that
Thank
easy?
you.
It was painless, right?
What's that?
It was painless, right? See?
Painless?
45, one more.
Sure.
345,119.29.
She's asking if you were an aye.
I was an aye.
I actually have it based on the 2.8 as well. I can provide that to you, Julie.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Janice.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Melissa.
Paul, I'm just gonna step out for a minute while you start the next budget.
Okay, do you want us to wait for a moment?
No, you can.
What do we do, insurance?
They can share.
That's all right, I'll give it to him in about 5 seconds. Wow, insurance went up, huh?
The numbers are all based on the numbers we got from Primex.
And those are the actuals, right? Like the actual invoice numbers? Yeah.
So basically, we're looking at a increase from 186, 111 to 196, 120, so approximately $10,000, which is about, I would estimate, a little over a 5% increase. Bob has his calculator out, so.
A little more than 5. Hold on. I'm doing the calculations. And I know industry-wide, it's about 11%, so let me just see what they come with at 11%. It's less than 11, so it's good.
Is there a reason why we need to put the insurance deductible in the budget? That's a $5,000.
Because if something happens, you still gotta come up,
Right.
you gotta pay it. It's you're self-insured for $5,000, so they're gonna make you pay the 5,000. We have to appropriate the $5,000, so it has to come out somewhere.
Guess so.
If you have $5,000 at home, you have to budget for $5,000 deductible, so same thing, same concept. Because you're self-insured for that amount of money. That's 9%. It's about 8.5%. The industry right now is about 11%, I'm starting to see. So it's still less. I can't vote on this budget because my company insures Primex. So,
I mean, it is what it is, unless
Yeah.
there are any ways that we could, deviate the coverages.
the only thing you could probably do is change your deductible amount. You could say, what happens if I go to a $10,000 deductible? Still have to appropriate the 10,000, but you might save on the other end, similar to what you do when you get your homeowner's policy or something like that.
Yeah,
would
but
be
if
the
we're having
only
to
difference.
appropriate the reserve amount, we're probably not gonna,
Well,
save
if you
anything.
save $20,000 by putting aside $5,000,
Yeah.
then I'm saving 15 grand. That's the only difference, is running the numbers to see what's it do when I change the deductible. Similar to what you do on a
Yeah.
auto when you say I have 250 deductible, I go to
Right,
500. How
right.
much do I save? Same concept.
Is it worth looking into, just to?
It's up to you.
If you ask them what a $10,000 deductible would do, we still gonna have to appropriate $10,000.
Right.
But maybe it saves
Maybe
me
it saves more.
20 grand.
Yeah.
Well, then it's worth it for me to put aside 5 to save 20.
It's worth looking at, right?
So let's table it for a week.
It's just a question.
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks, right, correct.
Yeah.
Yep,
Even better.
right.
Can I ask another question? What would this, what sorts of charges would go towards this deductible?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Right, what sorts of, so the fact that we haven't used any, I know that we've had a couple claims. So I'm just wondering where those are going, if not against the deductible.
Well, I know, it's got in here for property and liability. It's got workman's comp and unemployment comp. So if we had a claim for unemployment, it would go into there, I would assume, even though there's $1 line item in there. But it looked like workman's comp, that's insurance that we have.
Yeah, well, why don't you ask that question, which insurance the deductible?
I would
applies
assume
to?
the
Property.
deductible goes to property and liability.
Because
So if-
workman's comp, you don't have anything.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm not sure about liability, to be honest with you.
Liability typically doesn't have a deductible because
Yeah.
it's liability to others. I would assume it's probably your property deductible. I
Yeah.
know several years ago when
So if we had a loss.
we did the metal roof, remember they left the ridge cap
Yep.
off and then it rained and all the insulation upstairs. As a matter of fact, that's how I walked around in this entire attic space and found all the speakers and some that weren't connected. Is because it all got wet and we had to pay a deductible. But that was, I don't know how long ago to replace the roof, 8 years?
I don't think it's been that long.
But how long has it been since Jeff's been on the board? Because Jeff was on the board at the time.
Okay.
So I know that like I think somebody hit a deer this year, or deer hit them this year. I don't remember.
So that's our auto policy.
It's our auto.
Is that lumped in with the property or no? Or do we have a separate auto?
I don't think we have a separate auto well, that's a really good question.
Would have to be
I
in
believe
here,
it,
'cause
I
where
believe
else
it's
it would
in
be.
this budget.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, fire apparatus and ambulances are, so, and I'm
Police
guessing
cars, I'm
police
assuming?
must be as well.
So maybe just check
Yeah.
to see if that should be completely unused so far this year.
Yeah, because if we have, historically, if you take a higher deductible, you're self-insured for a higher percentage, so therefore your likelihood of submitting a claim goes down, so therefore actuarial are gonna basically give you a better rate. And we might be able to shave off.
Yeah.
Again, if we go up by $5,000, but I save 20, I'll do that.
I mean, we can have a really high deductible and self-insure if we're gonna save the money at the end of the day off the appropriation. Certainly makes sense.
I've seen, and again, my company does some of these things, so I have to be careful on how I address it.
Yeah.
But I've seen $100,000 deductible, I've seen $1 million deductibles, so it really, I guess I would ask them, what's the rate if I do 5,000, well, you have the 5,000, what's the rate if I do 10,000, what's the rate if I do 25,000, what's the rate if I do 50,000? Because that might be worthwhile for us to
Good
appropriate
questions.
that.
Yeah,
And
good
then I would say we probably should do a capital reserve for the deductible, and then you never have to appropriate it again, because the money's sitting there for insurance claims, and then the only time you appropriate it is when you use it.
Great idea. I love that. Great idea.
Thinking outside the box, all right.
Okay, we've
And I think
tabled
Budget
that.
Committee would love.
Bob, you hired.
Moving on to any old business. I know there's old business, but then there's regular business in terms of committee updates. Any
I-
old business?
I do have some old business. The MS 535, which we are waiting for the auditors to submit to the DRA in order to set our rate. I talked to our rep at the DRA on Friday, and she talked about, and when Plodzik was here a couple weeks ago, they mentioned it as well, that they could submit unaudited MS 535 if we wanted to get moving on this. Otherwise, it will have to wait till they're done with their audit, which is supposed to be this week. But if we want to go ahead with the unaudited MS 535, they can submit that right away.
Oh. I would be in favor of that because I think we need to move forward.
I feel very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I almost kind of want, I want to know what the actual is because,
It's only a week, right? Hopefully,
2 weeks.
hopefully, 2 weeks.
Well, this is a point where we could say if Julie could authorize the 535 once the auditors have approved it and send it in
then we get.
Yeah.
outside of,
I do not want to wait 2 weeks. I mean,
Right.
it's going to be tight.
Exactly. I'm fine
Sorry.
giving her that authorization.
I mean, I've looked at, they've submitted on the DRA website where we submit this information, they submit their information. They've filled it in as of what their numbers are now. They asked me to look at it, which I did. I didn't see anything alarming there, but if you want to wait,
So sorry, I just want to make sure I understand. They're coming back.
tomorrow and Thursday, hopefully, and they'll finish hopefully then.
Do you know what their confidence interval of finishing is?
Well, when they started 2 weeks ago, they thought they were going to get done with us in a day,
Yep.
and this
What
will
if,
be,
what if we say we wait till Thursday and give Julie the authority, but if for some reason, they are now going beyond that, then we also give the authority to proceed with the unaudited.
Yeah, I mean, how long does it take the DRA to basically review everything and give us a recommendation?
could be a couple weeks.
We don't have a couple weeks.
We don't.
So if we go ahead with the unaudited, what does that look like if it's off? What do we do then?
Supplemental billing.
I mean, I think that's the problem. It depends on which way it's off,
Right.
for one.
I mean, the
And-
number that DRA is really looking for is the unreserved fund balance. So
I just want clarification.
if that's off, I mean, I don't, that's what would be off is the unreserved fund balance, which you don't usually spend, I mean, usually you reserve some of that.
which
Right.
we look at when we set the tax rate anyway. So
Right.
Right.
by that time, we would know
Right.
what the auditors say the unreserved fund balance is, so.
We can see if it's off.
Right, and we don't have to decide how much of that we're gonna use until we set the tax rate, so.
Right.
I mean, if that's the holdup, it really isn't a huge deal.
Right, okay. I'm okay with that then.
Yeah,
Are you?
I'm fine with that.
Are you?
Clarify what you're asking me if I'm okay with?
What we just talked about, what Andy just said.
But
So
more
submitting
specifically-
Submitting the form.
Audited.
unaudited,
But then we would review it once we got, the
Recommendation
setting
from
the
DRA.
tax rate, and we would have better information.
And if we have to modify, then we can pivot at that point.
Exactly.
But at least we're getting the process going now versus waiting 2 weeks from now and then taking 2 weeks more. Because
Right.
now I'm a month out, so now I'm not looking to the first week of December to send out the bills, which is, we usually get paid
By mid-December.
mid-December, so now
We
you're
have a
gonna get
big
people.
county payment in mid-December that
Yeah.
Would be nice if we could have funds coming in by then.
I guess if the auditors are coming tomorrow, are they just coming tomorrow or tomorrow and?
Tomorrow and Thursday is what they're scheduled for,
So we would know by Friday or Thursday afternoon if they were gonna be done?
hopefully.
I
But
guess,
then if they don't give us the number, it's 2 weeks out.
no, because we could say, wait until Friday. If they don't have the number, then do the draft one. And if they have a number, do the official one.
And I mean, if we could wait another couple of days, I mean, that would be the option to, give Julie the authority, based
Julie,
on.
what do you recommend as our finance director? What do you recommend?
I recommend using the unaudited numbers and getting the ball rolling because we have a holiday coming up next week. So if we wait till Friday, I mean, at least if
Okay.
we do it now, they can get going on it. I'm afraid if we wait till Friday, it's
I'm
gonna-
okay with her recommendation.
I second that.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and use the,
Unaudited.
File the unaudited.
correct.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Any other old business?
Yes. I have a couple of pay rate confirmations. They are for overdue ones, one for myself and one for Saltzman. Sullivan. Nothing needs to be voted on. It's all pay amounts, but just the official form to sign.
Make a motion to sign the forms.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
As I sign. Anything else?
I don't know if it would fall under old business, but long ago when I was here, the treasurer, and I know it was done at least until Joyce was here, there would be a treasurer's report that you guys would also get.
Mhm.
I mean, you, as far as I know, have no idea what our bank balance is right now. This at least shows what the bank balance is at the beginning of the week, the payables, payroll, and what the balance is now, so you can go yikes or yay or whatever.
That's fantastic.
So that's what I'm,
Should we be going yikes or yay?
well,
Depends on how they're investing it. Are we doing a standard low?
There can be no risk.
It cannot be
So-
a risk.
hopefully you will start seeing that.
Excellent.
I've asked Ambrose to start that
Excellent.
process.
Thank you.
Thank you, Julie.
That's all.
Great. Committee updates. I understand the Health Insurance Committee met this afternoon. Anybody want to give an update?
Yeah, I can give an update.
You want to put it on the screen or?
Nope.
Nope, okay. Sit back.
So the Health Insurance Committee met last week and then again today. Last week, the Health Insurance Committee decided that given the timeline that we were under, in needing to get decisions to Health Trust and with the savings that we could possibly realize with switching to another, switching direct didn't seem worth, switching this year. So the committee decided to stick with Health Trust, which does not mean that the committee will not continue to work to see, now that there's less of a timeline or deadline, whether or not it makes sense in the future to switch over. The committee made so many decisions today. It was amazing. The first decision the committee made is to stop offering two different dental plans. The first recommendation that the committee has for this board is to only offer one dental plan instead of the current two. There is going to be a slight savings in only offering the one as opposed to the two because we were paying more to offer two plans.
And the majority, I think all the employees were going for the one plan, right?
Almost all.
The one we selected, so therefore we save money by saying the one that nobody wants.
Right.
We're gonna
Yep.
not offer it.
Yep, so that was dental plan 1C. So the unanimous recommendation of the committee was to have the town offer dental plan 1C only.
I'll make a motion for that. we have to have this board vote on it.
Second.
Are we, I didn't realize we were doing all that tonight.
Well,
I thought that
yeah, we have to
We
let
have to do it to move it
Health
forward.
Trust know by the 14th what plans we're going to offer, not just what plans. We don't have to tell them how many people or anything else.
Because
but-
there's an open enrollment period that
No,
we're
I-
coming
yeah,
up against,
yeah.
so
Okay.
Yeah, with no meeting next
With
week.
no meeting next week. Okay,
it'll go quick.
okay. Do we have a
Okay.
second?
Yes.
Yes. All in favor?
Aye.
Next.
Great. The next thing that the committee decided on was, again unanimously, that the select board should offer 3 plans again, just like the employee handbook currently says. Furthermore, they picked 3 different plans. The first plan that we are calling Plan A, which was also voted on, is the AB 20 plan. The second plan, or Plan B, is the AB SOS plan, which is $1,000 deductible. And the third plan is Plan C, which is the AB SOS plan with a $3,000 deductible.
And the first one is a no deductible. Plan A.
Yeah, I just
Right.
it's called AB 20, as the other ones are called AB SOS.
But the
so
first one
that's-
had no
Yeah, it's
deductible.
0 deductible, then 1,000,
1,000,
then a 3,000.
Correct.
In addition, the committee voted, currently, the 2 plans that we offer are on 2 different medication or prescription packages. The committee voted to recommend that this board eliminate having a second one and have all plans be on the same prescription benefit package.
Similar situation where when you're juggling and you're offering 2, it's going to be financially not prudent, so.
I'll make the motion on that.
Second.
On all of that?
So
All of it.
motion to offer the 3 plans
plans.
along with the prescription drug plan A, B, and C. And any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I think that's
Nope.
all.
We were going to do is it the 80-20-20 or we,
Well, I think we were going to wait till she gets
Yep,
the
so there
spreadsheet.
was,
okay. Okay.
there was a long, healthy discussion about what the possible employee-employer splits could be. We looked at a couple of different ones. We looked at the way that the employee handbook is currently written, which is 100% of the B as a single, and then 75 for a couple and a family, and then kind of spreading those out onto plans A and C. At the end of the meeting, it was suggested to maybe change that to 100%, 80%, 80%. Have those numbers as well. And because we do have a little bit of time.
Yeah, it's 100% for the single
For Plan
premium.
B.
Yep. 80% for the couple and 80% for the
Family.
family.
and we would need to change the employee handbook to mirror that.
Right.
Surrounding communities, specifically Fremont, they're doing the 100-80-80. So we kind of mirrored.
Fremont's doing 100, 100, 100.
Nope. Spitaleri reached out right in our meeting
Okay.
and confirmed it was 100-80-80.
Okay.
But that's different, the contribution, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Then if you went to, Plan A, which would cost more money, then that increase would be the increase in premium would be calculated into what your payroll deductible.
Right, because we would only be paying whatever based off of the B.
Right.
If they elect to go with a better plan and not have any deductible.
Right, but if you save money, if you save the town money with the C plan, then what?
We still have to figure that out. We hadn't gotten there yet.
Okay,
But
but we
I-
have what we need for purposes of
Correct.
Yes.
making the offer to Health
We
Trust.
just have to tell them which plan.
And then they set the,
Okay,
right.
No, we set the
Okay.
percentages.
When do we have to know the percentages by? Because when's the open enrollment?
This beginning of December.
December.
So
Oh,
our
really?
So we
meeting.
can meet at our next meeting.
Okay.
Yep, so I was gonna, Yes.
Finish that.
I was
Okay.
tasked with putting those numbers into a readable format, maybe having another committee meeting before,
We're gonna do it on Veterans Day.
or I guess if the committee is okay with
Julie wants to work.
what I have in front of me, then you can just share that directly with the board, and the board can make decisions based on that.
Okay. Well, thank you to the committee, much appreciated. I think, you know, a lot of hard work has gone into this. Thank you for giving us that summary presentation, and I think we're in a good place moving forward.
Very positive.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, committee updates.
Sure, I'll go. Today we got a new police chief, we got a new fire chief, and highway department is still getting things ready for winter.
Yep.
That's all I got.
I have none.
Rec,
Speak into the microphone, please, sir.
I touched base with Jim McIntyre via text. He's gonna help do the rec interviews. We just have to now, I reached out to Julie. Hopefully I can get all the applications, and then we can reach out and start setting up those interviews and move that forward. But that's where we're at that time.
Yeah, and I just want to say that, you know, given our hire of town administrator, our hire of police chief, our hire of fire department chief, once we get this, you know, rec director in order, I will say to this board that you've done more than, you know, could have been asked in terms of, you know, putting this together. So.
Building inspector too, yeah.
And
Yeah.
the building, thank you,
Yep.
and the building inspector.
Yep.
So,
It's,
you know, this board has done, you know, I think really a fantastic job in competently moving the ship forward. So we'll get that rec director, and then I also know we have a welfare director, which we need to appoint. So we will do that as well. What's that?
he said a lot of public discussion to go with that.
Yeah.
Where are the applications currently? Who has the application?
There are basically two at this point.
Oh, that's all, okay.
I
Oh,
think
that was
they'd be in the town administrator email account. Do you still have access to that one?
Yeah, I could forward you the
Yeah.
emails, so.
Okay, so, yeah, we'll have to, that'll be quick then.
Should be. I don't have any other, planning board and conservation did not meet, so I don't have any updates there. Buddy?
I think the insurance thing was the only thing
Okay.
that I had.
Great, thank you. I don't think we have any non-public tonight, so I will,
Oh, can I just bring up one other thing, I guess, under regular business? Is there are a couple of trees that need to come down on Deer Hill Road. They are dead and it's a safety concern, and Wayne would like to get permission to have them cut. I have quotes that he gave me. One tree would be $2,200 and the other would be $2,800, so a total of $5,000.
Does he need to check with the landowner first or not?
He's,
no, these are on our.
town trees, yeah,
Okay, town trees, okay.
yeah.
I mean, that's fine, but does he need to really get permission from us to do that?
That was what I was told.
It's within his
But-
budget.
Yeah, he said they have to come down, so.
Right.
Well, then we have no choice, so.
Yeah. So.
That's fine,
I
I'll
think
make a
we're-
motion.
Yeah, I mean,
I-
when we
I
have a contract before us, we probably should just approve it.
I'll make a motion for the contract.
Second.
All in favor?
Yeah.
Aye.
I think just in the future, Julie, this might be the kind of thing where you as town administrator could let Wayne cut down trees in between meetings.
Yeah, especially if one is a safety hazard, so we don't have to call an emergency meeting over it. Okay, I'll
Just
accept.
one more thing before we do that.
Sure.
Julie reminded me at Deer Hill, we got an email today from
Oh, that's right.
Derek Butts
Yes.
about the stop lines. If I remember the way the conversation went, the board wasn't interested in doing any of that, but somebody probably should.
We did reach out to, I did reach out to Janet Stevens for clarification on if it was, if we could have the state do it, and she said, no, it's up to the town to do it, so.
Is it because the stop is on town,
Correct,
and even though they're both tagging into
correct,
highway
Yeah.
or state?
yeah.
Because we ended up doing the ones on South Road when the,
Can we just get a roller and some paint and?
Yeah, I would be concerned about doing that without further,
If, especially if the state is not,
yeah.
because we don't have them on all the other intersecting roads, right?
well, that was the discussion that, my opinion was that any through road should have a stop line on it, just for safety purposes. But
Where do you draw the line, right?
Well, T intersection.
Where do you draw the line? I think that was the concern. Where do you draw the line?
Yeah.
So,
Well, I personally, I would agree with you on, when you're coming into a state road, especially where, you know, traffic is moving so quickly, I think it would be prudent of us to do that. And I think where you draw the line, it would be pretty easy to find out. I mean, Wayne can call the state and say, what do you recommend?
yeah, I think also there was the concern though that then Wayne was having to inventory all of the roads and what would be involved in doing that. There would be a certain, you know, cost factor, and I think he was looking into what that estimate would be. I mean, we could task him to do that if that's what we want to do, but that's my memory of what.
Well, I think that we could, I mean, I would think that the proper way to do it, I would think, would be to hire a line company to come in and do it.
That's what he was talking
Yeah,
about, but
right.
we were talking about then having an inventory of all the roads where that needed to be done, and that was gonna be a certain cost and expense.
Is it really that much? I can't imagine it being that much, but
I remember it wasn't insignificant when Wayne was talking about it with us.
I don't remember.
I think it, I don't remember, but I would assume it would be in the probably $5,000 ballpark.
Okay.
And then you gotta maintain it.
Right. Every couple of years, it would have to get redone.
Do we want to task Wayne to look back at that? 'Cause it was something that fell through the cracks, and I realized that
Yeah,
when I saw the email.
Yeah, and we do have some citizens that have brought that to our attention, so I think we should do our due diligence to look into it, at least, and have an answer, rather
Yeah.
than let it fall through the cracks.
I guess if you can ask Wayne
I-
if he has the quote.
But I think we would need a standard on what roads qualify. My opinion is a through road, so anything that has an intersection on both ends.
So like Pine Road,
Right. Pine Road,
Deer Hill, Prescott.
Crowley Falls, Lake Road,
Prescott Road.
Prescott Road.
So we need sort of
Pickpocket.
an inventory of roads and then what the cost, you know, would be.
They drive around enough.
Have Wayne look
He
into
can
that.
make an inventory of the roads.
All right, we can renew that. Yep. Okay.
Anything from the public?
Oh, sorry. Public comment? Anyone? Throw it out there.
Liz Faria, South Road. I have a couple of things that aren't really related, or several. Are the contracts and salaries of the chiefs public? 91A? Yep. Okay, is Andrea's, if Julie doesn't answer the town administrator line, is Andrea's, does it still say Andrea Hansen on that line?
What line?
What line are you talking about?
When you call the town offices and you hit the town administrator or the select board, you get Andrea's voice saying it's Andrea Hansen on the
Probably
phone.
still says Andrea.
Can we get that corrected as soon as possible? How many people left the police department?
Some of them, I think there were 2 or 3 that left entirely, and then there were another 2 or 3 that switched from full-time, 2 that switched from full-time to part-time.
And nobody went from part-time to full-time except for today.
One.
No,
One
nobody-
today, right?
Nobody went from, no.
Correct. Nobody did, right.
Okay,
But you
so,
will be
so
doing more
4
now.
left?
I thought it was 6, 7, 6, 7.
It-
When they were over there, I counted.
4 full-time.
4 full-time left.
Mhm.
Are we allowed to know who that is, or?
Saltzman.
Saltzman didn't leave.
Oh,
Oh,
right. I thought she
Right.
was asking who's
who
here.
left? No, who left?
Oh.
Who left? Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. It
Okay.
wasn't clear.
You
Who
want to
has
know who
le-
departed?
Who departed?
Matt Kelly,
No, he hasn't left until the 5th, right?
Right,
But
he
he's
will
given
be.
notice. Yeah.
Evan, Carey,
Yep, McCon.
Bob McCon, Henry, Rezchek.
I thought McCon was coming back part-time.
Yes, but he can't until after his,
He has a
Probation.
probation
thing.
period of, I believe, 3 months. Don't quote me on that, but I think
Okay.
it's 3 months, yeah.
And when does the, I wanted to commend the Health and Dental Insurance Committee. That was a huge, tough undertaking, and I commend that committee for making those decisions so quickly and today. So kudos to all those people on that committee. I can't think of a much worse committee than I'd want to be on. And when do we unseal minutes again? When do we, I thought it was like 10 years or something.
It's true.
Have we ever
Uh,
unsealed any minutes?
We have not, because I think the way the statute works is that we had 10 years to come up with a policy
From the date of the statute.
from the date of the statute, which was just enacted last year. So we,
So that means any minutes that you had sealed since you've been on the board would be still sealed?
Yes, unless we voted to unseal them.
I think there was at least one that I can think of where we only sealed it for a certain amount of time because at some
30
point,
days or
the
something.
thing that we were talking about wouldn't be a secret anymore.
Yeah.
So,
I'd just like to throw that out there again. I think there's probably tons of unsealed minutes. I
So
mean,
there's a RSA
that you
that was
could,
passed for 10 years?
sealed minutes that you
Yeah.
could unseal.
yeah,
The,
there's an RSA that says,
you have to review them every 10 years or otherwise they get unsealed
yeah,
automatically.
So how
we
many
have
have
to
you?
come up with a policy.
You got
to
9
do so.
years left.
How many?
Uh,
No, but,
Unfortunately, Liz, this board's been a little busy
yeah,
than
I know.
to review non-public minutes.
Just throwing it out there.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Anything else? Okay, I'll take a motion.
Adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
I.
Aye. Thank you,
Time to go.
everyone.